Okay, Davis. So we had the site cleared, and then the surveyors came, staked out the lots, and tell me how they started with the foundation after that.
Okay, well, the surveyor came back out and he marked the actual corners of the building, the outside corners. Then the contractor, the concrete contractor, he came and put his batter boards up and put his string line up exactly where the surveyor had marked the corners. And from there, they just followed their string line, dug their footing, installed the rebar, and now we're doing it.
How wide do the footings have to be?
The plans say 21 inches wide and 10 inches deep.
Okay. So is this the same company that digs the footings as pouring the footings?
Yes.
So that's kind of their specialty. They come in, they look at the plans, they know it's 21 inches wide, 10 inches deep. They dig those out, and then they put the rebar in.
Right.
And then how do they know where to put the rebar? Just on center?
It's on the plans. If you look at the detail page on the plans, I forget what page it's on, but it shows sample footing details, how wide, how deep, how many pieces of rebar, where the L-shaped rebar is to be put. I think it's 32 inches, every 32 inches around the entire ball.
So that's from the engineering, I'm assuming.
Right. Yep.
All right. Sounds good. That's our lesson for today. Thanks, Davis. Okay, so tell me again about the L rebar.
So they've started placing it into the footer, and that's what bonds the entire foundation together. They're going to lay their block, they're going to slip the block through it, and then we'll pour the block. And then the rebar is actually tied into the rebar that goes into the slab. So the entire foundation is all tied together.
Got it. Okay. And that apparently that complies with the gold fortified. Is that one of the gold fortified specifications?
Well, that's yes. Everything has to be tied from the foundation all the way to the ridge.
Okay, great. All right. Thanks, Davis. Okay, so we're back working on our foundations today at Lot 1 in Oakleigh. So Davis, talk to me about the rebar.
All right, so the plans call for 2 number 4 rebar, which is 1/2-inch rebar, and then they're sitting in double rebar chairs, and it's basically just a piece of metal with 2 little grooves in it that the rebar sits into to keep it off the ground, keep it out of the mud or the bottom of the footing. And then the ones that are sticking up is just to keep the rebar from moving.
Okay, gotcha.
Wendy was asking, like, I guess from the beginning, how they square it up and so forth. So the guy that forms up the batter boards, he puts his string line in exactly where the corners were marked by the surveyor. And then they put a diagonal on both sides to make sure it's perfectly square. They measure it front to back and side to side to make sure the house is exactly where it's supposed to be per the plot plan.
So what's he doing, Davis? What's he measuring for?
He's marking where he's going to put his rebar, which ties the footer eventually to the slab. So theoretically, well, not theoretically, everything is tied from the bottom of the footer throughout the build process all the way to the ridge, the top of the house. So, and that's part of the fortified program, and actually it's code now in certain places. So.
Thanks. Okay, so what is the next step after this,
So
David?
the next step is the block layer is going to lay the block, and we're going to fill the block solid. Once we have the slab poured and it's ready to build on, then we're going to do a rough grade, and all this dirt is going to be spread out to where we have a fall, so the water is running away from the house. Although we're going to have gutters, you still want the water to run away from the house.
Right.
So that's how we're going to get rid of all this dirt.
Gotcha. Is this the same company that's going to lay the block?
Yeah, so these guys lay the block too. So the only thing they don't do is there's another guy that comes in and brings all of the clay sand in to fill. Once we have the concrete block poured solid, he'll come in and bring all the clay sand, cap it off, and then the plumber can come in and do his rough end plumbing.
Gotcha. That's cool.